Hey everybody, thanks for stopping back. Well, where we left off last time, I had the radiator mounted, and I had it mounted up forward here, and I got the chicken looking at electric fans, and none of them would fit in a 2-inch slot, which is all I had. So I decided I'd move the radiator back. I didn't want to, because I thought that's going to put this filler right underneath this. Goes apart here, this brace, which actually holds the fenders together, so it's necessary. But the heater kicked off. Good. So I went ahead and moved it back, which is pretty easy to drill 4 holes. Gives me all kinds of room. And because the filler neck is directly underneath this, I went ahead and bored a hole in there, just so you can get a hose or funnel or whatever. More easier. And that's actually not bad at all. It's actually better than it was. So, I'm happy with that. That worked out good. I would get on the transmission cooler lines, except I'm missing 2 fittings. I need to come out of the radiator and drop down quickly, so I need a couple of close 90s, which I ordered. Should have those pretty soon. I can still make up the hoses now I'm thinking about it. So I'll probably do that. Get this bolted in. I think it looks pretty good. It's going to work out fine. FYI, I picked up a new mic for sound, so hopefully I'm sounding better. I also got a new camera coming too. I'm upgrading everything. Gonna try to get out of the dinosaur age. Good luck with that. So I'll snug this up. Actually, it's actually even better. It turned out really well. I'm happy with it. This is not going to be an issue at all. And you put this in, this piece here actually pulls the fenders in a little bit. So you get that bolted up, and we'd be good to go, I hope. Yeah, washer broke. I have more. Where's my impact? I don't know where the maid service went today. They sure left a mess around here. You think you could find a bright yellow impact? You wouldn't think it'd be that tough. That's why I buy DeWalt tools primarily, because they're canary yellow and they're easy to find. In this video, I'm hoping to get this thing running by the end of the video. Matter of fact, I'm going to run this video until I do get it running. If it's 9 hours long. Yeah, if it's 9 hours long, I don't want to have any viewers. All right, here we go. So now I have all kinds of room between the fan and the radiator, over 4 inches. I think it worked out. That'll work out just fine. I got my hole there. All right. What? All my battery cables are red. This is okay. It's totally legal. Stop picking on me. So I spent a bunch of time today cleaning up the shop because it was a disaster everywhere. Finding parts and pieces. I found all these pieces, got the radiator in the last video. You saw that. Got getting these other pieces in. I guess somebody had been standing on this, is kind of bent down. But check this out. Aw. It latched once. Well, it's close. Need some adjusting. How lucky will I get? Probably not at all. That's got a big Mama Jama nut up there. How do you get to that son of a gun? Feels like it's a loose nut. There's not enough room in there to get a socket on it. I can't even get a wrench on it. Or can I? It is 3/4. I did get on it. How do you turn it? Wow, there's no room up in there at all. Oh, I got the wrench stuck. Oh, there it is. How do you do it? I mean, there's very little room. I can't even get my finger in between the nut and the... I wonder if I can just turn that. Be a big boy maybe, huh? Oh! Not happening. There's a nut on the bottom, square nut. Looks like it's probably welded to the hood. Maybe I better soak that a bit before I get too carried away. If I can do this without squirting myself in the face. There we go. When are you supposed to get to that son of a gun? Because there's like no room up there. So I can't stand it. So I'm going to try putting a washer underneath this and see if I can bring it up just enough. See if it makes a difference. It caught one, I think, no, it caught twice, I think. No, it did catch once. I didn't close it that hard. I don't. All right, see what happens. Bingo. Oh, perfect. Awesome. There's a win. Okay, so I got the hood on now. I got some valve cover gaskets. I got it on top, brought it up the top dead center, put the distributor back in because it was way off. That's pretty simple. You know, you pull number one plug, you turn it over until if you got the valve cover off, it's a lot easier. You pull number one plug, you turn it over until you hear until it pushes a lot of air out. That's the compression stroke. And number one intake valve will be closed at that point. You go a little bit past that, and the timing mark will come up. Boom. Drop the distributor in, point the rotor at number one cylinder, bing, bang, boom, done. So now I can put the valve covers back on, seeing as I didn't have gaskets. What else? Get the battery charging up. I got a couple little loose ends on electrical. Then I can try to crank it over. Oh, fuel system. I got to get the fuel hooked up. I could just goose it a little bit. I may do that. That battery ever charges up. So I got the good Felpro, the rubber gaskets for the valve covers. I'll glue them onto the valve covers here real quick. I'm gonna let those sit for a little bit before I do anything else. Okay, so I got my transmission cooler lines figured out. I'm gonna use this PTFE, something like that. PTP, TPSP, STP, XYZ line. Never used it before. They say it's good stuff. Let's see how this works out here. I didn't cut that. No. That's a factory cut. I should probably make another cut. It's all frayed. Yeah. What if my wire cutter will cut it? See, some guys use these. They wrap it. Of course, like everything else nowadays, it doesn't come with any instructions. You got to do it all online. You wrap it with tape. Well, here's the tape I have handy. Let's see if it works. I'm guessing probably not, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Almost got it. That really crushed the crap out of it. I don't think much of that. I looked it up, and the instructions, it says use a grinder. So I guess that's what I'll do. See how that works out. Okay, so I cut it with a grinder. Can't say I'm not very impressed with that method, but that's what I did. There's that. So far, it's not working out too good. Put the end on. I can get this tape off of here. I'm sure electrical tape would have been better. Okay. Now I'm supposed to get this ferrule on here somehow. How do you do that? Get all the steel out of the way, I think. The bottom in this ferrule there's a shoulder. That goes on there and bottoms out. And it threads on. Now they give me this handy dandy little wrench here. It fits that, but does not fit this piece. Am I doing the wrong thing here? Just enough to hold it. How'd that look? I think that came out all right. I guess time will tell. Well, it's not too tough. I got pretty much got to put it in, measure it, mark it, take it back out, and put the other end on it. Okay, I can do that. Now, because these, wow, that's right in my face. Now, because these headers, it's so tight down here. Normally, the transmission lines run down along the oil pan. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take them, I'm going to run them up on the inner fender well. Because I can get away from the headers faster that way. Come out of the transmission and put a 90 on it. And go straight up the firewall onto the inner fender well and go that way. You got it yet? No? Try the video down here, it's not easy. Okay, so this time I used electrical tape. And this one's going to get a straight fitting on it. There's one. I'll make sure I don't like using a grinder because you got to blow it out with compressed air to be on the safe side, which I will do. That's it. Not quite bottomed out. I don't think I can. I don't know, if I had a line wrench, maybe I can get on there. Trying to get them done so the flats are all lined up. I mean, it's a transmission line, there's not that much pressure on it. No, it's not going. It's not going to go. Yeah. There's one. We'll see if it works. So, there's one. Now I'll make up another one. I'll spare you the pain of watching me do another one. And the other one's just going to be a little shorter. Just the distance of the two ports on the radiator. Well, I got those lines made. Still need two right angle fittings to go into the radiator. They're supposed to be here later on today. Maybe I'll get to it. I got this fuel line that goes to the carburetor. I made it when I had the motor on the engine stand, but that was months ago. And it hooked up to the fuel pump, which I now have electric fuel pump. So I'm gonna try to whack this off, straighten out that line, put a bulb on it, put a short piece of hose on it. It doesn't kink too bad on me, I'll put it that way. That's a little more gooder. Okay, I'm going to cut it off and see what I got to do. Yeah, I got enough of this to make fuel line out of it, but I don't have enough fittings. Not to say I couldn't order fittings, but there is a place here in town I could go down and get them. But this should work for now. This is all I need. That'll only give me a little short piece of rubber hose, which I don't mind too bad for the time being, just to get her on the road. I'm just doing this to try to get it on the road without having to make another parts run. So I want to get it, at least get it running. I don't have drive shafts in it yet. I've got them, but I haven't gotten to it. I got to get them sized, because I'm pretty sure they're too long. Okay, let's see how far off this is. Ooh, that's pretty close, actually. Cut it off at that bend. If I cut it off right there and try to put a little flare on it, it'll probably work. Don't work. I know, this is kind of chicken shit, but trying to get her done. I can always upgrade. All right. Do my handy dandy little flare trick. I probably will end up using this for the fuel line, but that means another trip to the hardware store and probably another $30 in fittings. This is free and now. That's in steel line. It's not a lot of bulge. I think I'll do that again. Give it a little bit more oomph. Come on. That's better. You see that? That works out pretty good. Keep the rubber hose from blowing off. There, that's what we're going to end up with. You won't be able to see it down there. I even went all out and got some decent hose clamps instead of the regular worm gear type. These go all the way around the hose. Completely capture it. They're a little better than just the worm gear. And I still got to finish the gas line going back. I got the gas line running back, so I got to cut it off. Put a fuel filter on it. And the fuel filter I have has a return on it. Hook up the return line. Oh yeah, those little clamps are going to work out just fine. Okay. Snug that up. I already pulled the filter out, cleaned it out. It's kind of cruddy, but it's not too terrible. All right, that fuel line's hooked up. Awesome. I'm still waiting for my shorty plugs on the other side. Valve cover gaskets are drying. Getting close. Getting close. Okay. I'm not ready to start it, but because I still haven't got the power steering, the transmission lines on yet. Still waiting for those. But I want to see, I'm ready to see if it'll turn over. So I'll throw this battery on. This battery's no good. I'm sure of it. But let's see if it'll turn over. Okay. This is exciting. Progress, maybe. Okay, it's in park. Let's see what happens here. Oh, you already hear that battery dead. It cranks over. Ooh, got headlight. Headlights work. Shoot. Well, it's a step in the right direction. Need to put a good battery in this. Because I do have a winch I'm going to put on the front of it, I think. Okay, so my fittings came in. So I got them installed. I got the transmission lines hooked up. Stole the battery out of the 51. Got some gas. Got the fire extinguisher ready. You never know. Got to be ready for these things. Got my fireproof blanket here just in case. Got to throw it all over and smother everything. Let's see what happens, shall we? I think we're ready. A bottle of gas. Now, I already had it cranking over. Oh yeah. It cranks over. I got no choke. That might be a bad thing. Put some fuel in the bowl. Just a little. I know, I'm being chintzy to begin with. I'm scared. And I don't have any way to get to the throttle. Okay, I don't know if I got spark or not. Let's see, where's my little spark tester outer? So I've been looking all over the shop for the spark checker. And of course it was in the first drawer where I thought it was going to be. But for some reason I couldn't see it. So I don't know if we have, see if we got fire. Fire, let's see. I don't know if I can do this. But can I do this and see it at the same time? Yeah, no spark. So let's see why. So apparently I had a couple wires backwards in the ignition switch on the column. So I think I got that straightened out. Then we'll plug the distributor back in and see if we're back in business. Back in business. You've got to be in business in the first once before you can be back. Okay, that's snapped on. Okay, that's wrong. As soon as I turn the key on, it starts cranking. Okay, wrong again. I had it wired up what I thought was right, and then I found they give you a kit with some connectors, but it's kind of vague. So I gotta play with that some more. I'll be back. Okay, next day. I think I recorded that, trying to start it, and it wouldn't start. Had no power to the distributor when I was cranking it. Had the ignition switch wired wrong. It came with a plug to plug in. I didn't use that. I will once I get it right. I didn't use that plug because I didn't know if I had it right or not. Because apparently these ignition switches on these columns, there's several different ones. I don't know which one it was. It's a column I've had laying around. So anyway, so I got it cranking now. I got power to the distributor while it's cranking, but no fire at the spark plugs. So I got another problem. Battery ran down, okay, so I charged the battery up. So now I guess I gotta go through a test procedure with the distributor. Yep. This is hot rodding. Nothing ever goes right. You're always trying to figure out problems. Keeps it interesting. Keeps you on your toes. Gives you something to mess with, right? So, first things first. What am I going to do? I got to pull that cap. I mean, it could be the module. It could be a whole bunch of things. Stop talking. Get to it, Bill. Okay. All right. Stop pushing me. Here we go. It's funny. This cap still has the original keeper for the old spark plug wires. That's the first one of these I've seen in a while. Usually when they change wires, they get thrown away. This is that spark plug ring I was talking about. Snaps over the top of the cap. That's why the cap's designed that way. All right, that's an auto range. There's 0. That's right where it should be. Now, checking the two primaries, or the one primary, should be between 0.3 to 1.5. Come on, hold still. 0.6, 0.5. So that's within range. And the secondary is this ground here to the center. That should be anywhere from 8 to 10,000. 8,000 to 10,000. And that's 8,000. I don't know if you see it, there's a K right there, so that's to times 1,000. So the coil's good. All right. Okay, so the coil checks out good. So I know that's good. So now, it's got to be the module. And I have a good one here that I know is good. Could have had it in the 37, but I upgraded it to one with the Petronox with a limiter in it. So I know it's good. It's just been sitting on the shelf. So I'll put that in and see what happens. If I can get you in here to see this. So I got to change the module, got it all set, went to plug it in, and I thought, oh, I'll take a good look at the plug here. And I noticed this center plug was way down inside. You should be able to see it like the other two. Can you see that? So I got to looking at it and pulled the center one. Oh, look, it comes right out. It's not locked in there. There's a little tab on the back that catches like a little barb. It wasn't caught. So let's see if I can, I wonder, that's definitely not good, but that's probably the problem. If I can push that little guy back out. There, can you see that? Probably not. It's supposed to stick out like a little fish hook. There, it clipped in place. I bet you that was the problem the whole time. But that'll definitely do it. That connects to the secondary windings. It's the little stuff that drives you crazy, just like anything. All right, let's see what happens. Maybe something. Sounds better. I got choke is pop the choke open there. I still got that spark plug finder outer. I'm going to give up on that. And I'm just going to hook it up. I'm assuming it's going to run. That's right. All I want to do is start it. Doesn't need to run for more than a couple seconds. Oh yeah, that was a problem. That's enough fuel flopped all over the place. Oh, come on now. I need a helper. Get my arms long enough. Oh yeah. Houston, we have ignition. Yeehaw. I'm happy about that. Now let's check the transmission fluid. All right, it's alive. I can't really run it through the gears for the transmission because I don't have any drive shafts in it. So I need to do that before I can really fill it up. I also haven't pumped out the brakes yet. I got to pump them up, but I wanted to get it running. And go. I got the ignition fixed. I got all that other nonsense done. Like I said, it's running. It fires right up. It's happy now. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching. I really appreciate all the subscriptions and all the comments. It's awesome. Well, next video, I think I'll be working on exhaust. Got to get that done. Appreciate everybody watching. Take care.